frontier. This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toll,
target man, suspicious character,
and
with the top end of Stevenson, Grado!
Welcome to Football Daft, the daftest Scottish football podcast around. My name's Steven Purden, aka Chelsea Bob, and let's welcome your starting lineup. First, let's welcome a man who, while watching the Anelka, misunderstood, thought Nicholas had a bit of a Cockney accent, only to realise he was watching it with English dialogue over the top. It's Grado. Think he picked up the accent for his time in England, mate?
I'm sitting there with Stephanie, I was going, check that Cockney accent he's got. I'm going, he must
Anelka.
have picked that up at Chelsea. I'm going, that's fucking well strong, man. Then I was about 5 minutes, well, that's somebody talking to Tappy.
Nicholas Anelka, the Frenchman with the Cockney accent, man.
Yeah.
But what you don't know is they recorded it in French, but it was actually Nicholas Anelka doing the subtitle, doing the voiceover in English.
Well, either way, I can't be fucked with reading all that. I used to in my younger days, I used to watch all these Japanese and Korean films and all that with the subtitles, but I'm not going to patience for it anyway. I can't read fucking.
Listen, see if I want to read, I'll buy a book.
Aye. Let's welcome a man who is lucky that the show hasn't been suspended after spending a day in Spain. Sorry, Chris, I'm getting mixed up with Bolingoli there, mate. It's Chris Toll.
All right.
But I mean, mate, like, do you know what I love? But you're not on Twitter these days, right? But see, wasn't that long ago? All the Celtic fans were called like Johnny Bolingoli and Marky Boy, Bahoy Bolingoli, but there's none of them about.
But now it's all the Rangers fans.
Sorry, Rangers fans. It's like Graham Stevely, Bolingoli, Stephen Bolingoli Purden. What's going on, mate? How are you?
Stephen Purden goalie.
Mate, how's things? Are you okay?
I'm brand new, but
I don't like you, mate. I don't believe you.
fuck's sake, man. Know what I mean? What are you meant to say about this? Get that guy as far to fuck for Celtic as is humanly possible.
Yeah.
Get him to fucking East Coast Mariners or whatever the fuck they're called. Get him to the other side of the planet. That guy is a fucking rocket.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Chris and producer John, I'm available for Celtic Daft this week as a guest. It's Chris.
Bolingoli's available as a guest now and all.
But I haven't met one Celtic fan that isn't raging about this and they don't want to see him ever in a Celtic tap again.
See if somebody went like that to use, right? I tell you what, lads, we'll give you 4 games a start or 3 games a start at the start of the season, but Celtic get to make the games up. You would have took it, you'd have snatched the hands off it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Bolingoli's actually went and done that himself for yous. Right, I'm going to be 100% honest. I would sack you, guy. Got to make an example of him, Stevie. Got to.
Can I ask you a question, Chris? Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me whatever you want, but I'm going to go through this cola today like nobody's fucking business.
Well, he's drinking his juice.
He's drinking his juice in anger as usual. What if it was Edouard that had done it?
It doesn't matter who it is that's done it, John.
It does. I was thinking this today. If it was Odsonne Edouard, it would have been a...
See, the thing is, Stevie, see if it was Odsonne Edouard, Celtic go like that, Odsonne Edouard's up for sale, teams come in and pay money for him, right? This guy's now fucking stealing a wage off of Celtic because he's never going to see another first team game. And I'll tell you something as well, see when he comes on the pitch, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a crowd there if he gets booed off the Celtic fans, because the guy has put their full season, not just... The guy has actually put the full Scottish football's life's at risk, right? That's what he's done. Whether you want to sugarcoat it or not, people are thinking, oh, it's a laugh and a joke, but it's serious, right? This guy, yeah, I'm sorry, he needs to go. He needs to go because he's basically put 10 in a row at risk, right?
It's Grado's face, man, and John's like a wee Wayne getting caught doing some rangman.
I'm serious though. Well, put yourself in my position, right? Say it was fucking Barisic or somebody like that, right? Well, Barisic's a good player, but say it was, I don't know, well, just any old Rangers player, right?
I know it's hard to find a bad player, as you know, mate, I know. you're still going to be a bit...
No, but they done that. They say they done that though. Do you know? No, it's not that, Stevie. It's just I can't name a fucking Rangers player, right? No, say they done that. Would you not be saying the same thing?
No, mate, 100%. What I'm laughing at here is just, I'm just laughing at your anger because I'm glad it's not us in the fucking front pages for a change. But if it was one of the Rangers players, mate, I would be livid, man, livid, absolutely furious. You're right.
He's put right now the potential for Rangers to be 11 points or something like that in front of us by the next time we play a game.
We could be 11 points by next Saturday because we play Livingston on Sunday, Kilmarnock at Ibrox the following Saturday, and yous don't kick off to 5:30 at Tannadice. So if we win these 2 games, we will be 11 points ahead if we win the 2 games of yous.
Right. So not just that. What if UEFA had went like that? Right, wait a minute. Yous need to quarantine or something like that now for a fortnight, and then we can't play the Champions League game, right? And then they by default we get put out of Europe because you're this fucking muppets need to go over to a fucking Ibiza hotel for a day. I don't fucking think so. I don't know how he's still contracted at Celtic. This is gross misconduct and endangering the health and well-being of everybody involved in Scottish football. The guy should be shot out a fucking cannon.
So, see if you bumped into a big bowler now.
Aye.
Would you take your jaw clean off him?
I don't know, mate. He's a bit of a unit, and I think he'd fuck me right up.
You try to say Grado's not a unit?
It's not that. I just wouldn't want to get within 2 metres of Bolingoli, you know what I mean?
Right, so, like... 11 points potentially if we win these 2 games in Hon. Well, these 2 games, then you have got a backlog of fixtures, man.
Yeah,
what do you think of him, that Abby and a Jetty for West Ham for $4.5 million? Would you think of him, mate?
I've not seen a lot of him, Stevie, to be honest, but I watched, as you do when you're linked to a player, you go and check the highlight reels. See, for somebody that's not that tall, he seems to be really good in the air. He scores a lot of headers. Seems to be like a centre of the penalty box striker, so I don't know why he's been signed, and there's other rumours as well about other players, but we'll get to that later. Fingers crossed he hits the ground running because he seems to be alright, and if he's scoring that amount of goals in the Swiss League, then he should be alright here, shouldn't he? You know what I mean?
I think he should, mate. Grad, what do you about the Rangers, man?
Hold on, because this has been doing my tits in all day, right? I've been joking to tell you, right? Oh, fucking worst night ever last night, right? So right. I went up to my father's to watch the football, right? and it was about 20 I says to my father, right, you fancy putting a wee line on for the Rangers game? Put £2 and 7-0, right? Something like that, right? In the boss. So putting £2. I put in £15 into my account, right? Done his fucking bet and all that, right? And I thought, right, I've got £12 left in, so I looked at Borna Barisic to score first in 3-1. Right, so I put the money in, right, and it was coming up fucking 13 grand, right?
A classic Grado bet, man.
Because you know, always they daft things. I'm always fanning about, right? So goes to place bet, but the game kicked off, so it fucking cancelled it. So I'm biffing out, right, trying to date in play. But for the life of me, I couldn't find the goal scorer, kind of goal scorer a bit, and William Hill.
You can't do a scorecast in play.
See, I didn't know that. Well, I fucking spent ages fucking trying to look at, right? Of course, as bad as it's no score first. So I'm fucking biffing out. I'm going, this can't be 3-1, Dad. This can't be 3-1. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I'm going, please, Livingston, don't score. I'm fucking sick. There
was no chance Livingston were going to score, mate.
But they had a couple of chances at the end.
There was no chance Livingston were going to score, mate. No chance.
So I'm fucking sick, right? Watch her football. And so I'm telling the fucking... So the day the radio, right, this cunt for the radio, the bookies comes in to buy an advert. So I'm at him, I was going, telling the story, and I says, Big and see it 3-0. I'd have probably cashed out at 3-0. He says, you're looking at 75% there. 75% of fucking £1,300. What's that?
Well, you said it was 13 grand.
Right?
75% of 13 grand, you mean?
Aye. So what? So you're talking about fucking 8 or 9 grand, right? All by missing this for fucking seconds. So I've been out all day, right? But see, as soon as this podcast starts, there's no way that could have been 13 grand.
That's about 9.5 grand you'd have got there, Grado.
Aye, but look, hold on now, right? I'm looking at for Saturday, right? Borna Barisic for 3-1 is 300 to 1, right? If I put 12 in that's only coming up 3,600. So what odds was Barrett? There's no way. It definitely said 13 grand, but
maybe you've put £122 down or something by accident, and that's why it's not went through, because you've not had the money in your account.
So I've been fucking out for nothing then.
Aye, probably, mate. Aye.
Definitely, that makes me feel 100 times better, and I can go on with the show now.
And mate, you look like you've kind of just cleansed your soul, man. You look like you had to get it out.
I'm sitting there all quiet because, mate, it's been fucking killing me all day. Anyway, the Rangers game last night, played well. Boring, but we won. And I don't mind that. It was boring, very, very boring. It was very... Actually, it's boring. It was boring the other night and all, wasn't it? It was boring. It was boring on Sunday tea. It was boring on Sunday tea after a wee bit, wasn't it?
We played some good stuff, man.
No, I just mean once we'd done our business. It's just
aye. It's just I watched it today, and it's like Gerrard said. It's when it went 3-0 up, it was dull,
I know,
boring. But we've still not hit top gear. I don't think we're playing amazing. We're doing the job and getting it. It's good just to be playing.
It just felt last night. It just felt last night when they made the 4 substitutions. It just totally taken the sting off the game, didn't it? It really did, didn't it?
It did.
But I suppose we need to rest players and stuff like that. We've got a lovely big large team, and everybody's playing well. So,
what about the Highbees?
Yeah, they're looking good, man. They're looking good.
Well, Christian Doidge is player of the year.
Kevin looks good and all, man. He's fucking banging, man. Hibs look a formidable force, man, going forward.
Horgan, Nesbitt, and
Deutsch, aye.
Fuck's sake, man.
Listen, this happens every year. There's 3 games played. There's a team that plays well for the first 6 weeks, and then it goes...
Aye, it's usually Rangers, but Grado.
I say, Tolls, good just to be playing. I'm enjoying watching my team.
It's great, actually, isn't it? Getting the flush up. That was good last night.
It's good to have games to look forward to, man, because it's been that long.
Well, think about how I feel. I'm going to have about 15 in 2 days. Once we get back. Well, I mean, I'm in a tournament one day. Fuck's sake.
So on the show today, we welcome a man who made just shy of 500 appearances for Motherwell and is currently assistant manager there. It's Keith Lasley. And it's Chris's turn on the Legends Lottery. You give us any hints to who you've landed, Chris? Who have you got? No?
Listen, it's fucking touch and go. I can't get a hold of him, and I'm not even lying. I'm not lying. I'm still... we sorted it all out last night, didn't we, John?
We did.
Right, and I can't get a hold of him.
Oh.
Wait a minute, Stevie. No. Hold on a minute. Right. Hold on a minute. Right. What I done was I got a hold of the guy, organised everything, and then I says, do you know how to use Zoom? Right, and he went, I'm not 100%. I says, listen, I'm going to get my producer to send you over an email with all the instructions and everything like that. John contacted him.
Bigger, man. John's like a Cheshire cat. He can't get the snigger off his face. Right.
So it's not. I'm not doing a Grado, mate. I wouldn't do that to you. I've got too much respect for you.
Okie doke. And in tribute to Keith Lasley, on our big question we ask, what footballer does your ma fancy? After Chris's ma was a big fan of Keith. And there's another chance to win free beer in the Pro Set playoff. Now, with the transfer window open until October, it's time to get all the speculation as we turn to Football Daft's answer to Jim White. It's Chris Toll's Rumour Mill.
Here comes the rumor mill, and I'm not even trying.
What is happening? I'm excited.
Aye, I mean, your track record's looking good now.
It's not bad. Bad. There's been a few. Listen, there was a few of them that came up last week, but I think we need to talk about Jason Holt.
Aye, that's what I'm talking.
He was seen on big. Who was he?
He was going to Bayern Munich.
He was going to Bayern last week, wasn't he?
He changed your heart at the last minute.
Well, Livingston came in and he decided that the shopping centre was better. So he signed for Livy. He signed for Livy. No, but there's a few this week and all, man. Right, so Shane Duffy's linked to Celtic this week. The Brighton defenders apparently set to hold talks with a bit of move after struggling to find a place under Graham Potter. I think everybody in their granny knows we need a centre half or two. Brought in Celtic need ripped out and fucking drew back in again, to be honest with you.
How much did you spend on Julian? But
I think it was 7 million for Julian, wasn't it? 7 million for. By the way, Julian's not a problem, Stevie.
he was some of the
Christopher Ayer's a problem. I'm telling you.
Rugby Park, that big boy up front for Kerry, absolutely ragdolled Julian, man. He was
By
all
the
the
way,
camp.
It was shite in the first half, but he came on to a game in the second half.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway,
just trying-
right, Swiss side St Gallen are keen on Rangers as Ross McCrory, with a cash offer now ready to be made, while Hibs have already had a $200,000 offer rejected. Now, I think it's better for him to stay in Scottish football, do you know?
100%.
Well,
I do. I mean, last season when Docherty went to Hibs, I thought he played well. The fans took to him and all that. I think a move to Hibs for McCrory would be a good move, maybe.
And if they get him and Docherty, that's a good move for Hibs as well, isn't it?
I think Docherty's got to go down south. I think he's got to go to Hull. There's rumours
You think
he's got to
so?
Hull.
I
Aye.
think so.
I can't see Rangers selling Docherty and McCrory to Hibs, especially when Hibs are going to be looking like challengers this season. You know what I mean?
Aye.
So
we watch that.
I think that's it.
You've got to watch that. Hearts, Connor Washington is away to Charlton.
Yep.
St. What about this one, right? St Mirren have made a loan bid for PSV Eindhoven striker Joe Pyro.
They don't try to get Bio as well for Celtic.
Aye, he's away actually. He's away to Toulouse.
Aye, but St Mirren have been quite ambitious, isn't they?
Aye, but that's what I was saying, man. I don't know. I think they've maybe got a wee bit of money for somewhere, and they've got a good manager in there and all. And even though Rangers turned them over, I'm led to believe that it wasn't as cut and dried as it could have been. So
Mate,
I think they're going to do well.
About 6-0.
What?
I think had the game his life. The St Mirren game should have been about 6-0.
By the way,
Alnwick saved about 5 Stonewall goals, man, didn't he, Grado?
he was honestly superb, and I knew he was going to have the game of his life or not, but he was because it
Always happens, doesn't it? The last one that I've got, this is going to blow your mind, man. See the Hibs goalie Marciano.
Mm-hmm.
He's apparently in talks to move to Hearts. But listen, you heard that one here first. Don't shoot the messenger, all right? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you've got any rumours or just want to get in touch with the show, get us on Twitter at Football Daft Pod, Football Daft Podcast on Instagram, and just search for Football Daft on Facebook.
Troops, wait to tell you this one.
But tell me.
Right, so me and the missus were going away for a wee overnight. Didn't you come, Nook, Grado? You know the place we go to. No, this is the time we were there just recently.
All right, okay.
2 weeks ago. Lockside Hotel, wee bit of product placement from there, great hotel, beautiful staff, beautiful spa, lovely. But
pay for that.
We're going. Nicola's going to drop the veins. No, she wasn't. She was going to get her hair done. Thank fuck she wasn't dropping the veins off. I was dropping the veins off. She's got to get her hair done. Came to a junction. Guy in front of her went to go. Guy in front of her stopped. Nicola's looked. She's ready to go. Bang. Went at the back of him, man.
Easy done.
Did that guy phone G4 claims? Because that was a not at fault claim for him.
Yeah. He should have phoned G4 claims.
Tell me about G4 claims, Stevie.
Aye, so G4 claims, they sponsor this show. I think they're brilliant, don't we, boys? I think they're brilliant.
We do. We like them.
You think they're brilliant, don't you?
I think they're fantastic.
So if you've been in a road traffic accident or you're not at fault, G4 Claims can make it easy for you. They can provide you with the complete accident management support you require. They'll recover their costs from the at-fault party, sort you out for a like-for-like vehicle replacement, and they'll also organise your vehicle to be repaired at one of their approved body shops and returned to you. And should your vehicle be deemed a write-off, they will recover the pre-accident value for your car and write you a big fat cheque for it. And best of all, It won't cost you a penny. They charge the at-fault insurance direct. G4 claims don't cold call. They don't buy data, and once they've processed your claim, your insurance will remain unscathed. And the best thing is, Nicole and the team over there won't take on your case if they don't think they can help. So, if you've been in a road traffic accident or you know someone that has, get onto G4 claims on 01698 767, Grado's favourite aeroplane, 172. That's 01698 767 172. Get them at notatfaultclaim.com or find them on social media at G4 Claims Limited. G4 Claims.
Not at fault.
Not at fault claims. Made easy.
Football Daft's big question.
So this week's big question's been inspired by our guest Keith Lasley. My ma fancied the fucking shorts off him, man. Seriously. So we thought what we'd do is we'd ask you, what football does your ma fancy? Right, so, Grad, who was it your ma? It was Ali McCoist, your ma, wasn't it?
My mum loved Ali McCoist. Loved Ali McCoist until he started managing Rangers. And then every time he'd come on the telly, she'd go, "Oh, Ali, you've lost your looks. Oh, look at the weight he's putting on. Look at that hair." And she loved Amaruso. Amaruso, she was daft on him.
Listen, when Amaruso walks into a house, there's no a dry seat. He was a handsome guy, wasn't he?
Aye.
What about you, Stevie? You're not getting any glint in her eye when a footballer runs by.
She always fancied Loudrup, man. It was always
Really?
Loudrup. Aye, she liked Loudrup. Always Loudrup. I think she had a wee thing for Ali and all, but it was all Ali.
Yeah. Has she ever seen Scott Sinclair?
Who do you fancy?
Amy Redknapp.
Lee Miller, of course.
I'm not just saying it, man. Gerrard.
Aye.
Grado, yours was Pierre, wasn't it?
I spoke to you about this.
Aye.
Aye, him or Ronaldo? I like Ronaldo.
Right, so moving on for our kind of homoerotic chat there for a moment. We've got listener Chris that he says, my mum to this day still goes on about Joe Jordan. She said a thing for him for years, maybe to do with his name, is me and my brother fancied the other Jordan that played with footballers when we were younger. What about that one, Joe Jordan? He doesn't jump out at you as a housewife's favourite, does he?
Oh, no. And a
Maybe
quiet
it was just because he was fucking hard as nails.
Aye. Who was it tried to go ahead with him? Gattuso, wasn't it?
Aye. Gattuso gave him a wee slap, did you know, at the sideline or something?
We Gattuso tried to go with Big Jordan, man.
I know, that's like the two hardest men to ever play football having a fight. Right, the next one we've got Bert. Mine says a thing for chubby footballers. So there's a guy who played one game for Rangers at Ibrox and was never seen again. Missed a sit-up and then had the audacity to dive for a penalty. Can anybody guess this guy's name?
Is it Mr. G. Stevely?
I think it is. He says, Grado could have been my stepdad.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Maybe he is, son.
Maggie's a wee bell.
Next one we've got Dean. Wee Grado. Oh man, Dean is saying Eon Jess.
Oh, remember Ian Jess?
Aye.
I seen him in an interview recently. I think he's bald and all that. Well, I suppose he got old, but
Fucking nothing wrong with that, alright?
I keep laughing. Think me Bert Stevely, man.
Right, Aidan says James McFadden, and when we met him after the Philadelphia charity match at Celtic Park, she got very embarrassed because I told him.
aye. That's what you do. Mama fancies you.
Hey, did you know do that to your ma, Grado?
I was Amaruso in the airport and fucking Amaruso went, Mama fancies you, and Mama went, oh, Wayne's. Wayne's.
Wayne's, but what you doing later? No. The next one we've got Natalie says Loudrup was our dad and we weren't even allowed to tell my dad.
That's very good.
Kevin says Paul Ritchie when he played for Brecon City, her and Manny used to go just to get a swatches, hairy pins.
Remember him?
He was a very good looking guy, was he?
I don't know, but he's too alone. He's not the worst looking guy that's ever strapped on a pair of foot bibbits.
Look at what Big Jason said.
Big Mac suit.
Yeah, I can see that. The big fin, man. The big fin. You know what I mean?
Next one we've got is Scott says Super Ali and also Jose Mourinho. Red face central when Jose came on the screen. So he's more used to get off flustered when big Jose came on. Darren says Alan Ruff. He lived up the road for her, so she ended up. Listen to this one. She ended up winching his brother Dougie instead. So the story goes. John says my mum fancied Arthur Boric. Every time Celtic would play, she would say, "Just look how handsome he is."
You can imagine Mo saying that, couldn't you? Oh, look at him.
Honestly, she when Keith Lasley came on the telly, it was ridiculous. She'd stop cooking and all that. She'd stop hoovering or whatever she was doing. Oh, look at that. He's a handsome man.
I know. or you should be sitting watching Rangers. She'd be like, "Oh, who's that?" You'll be like, "It's Jeremy Clement. Fucking big him, man." Get into him.
Who's that? It's David Dodd.
He's handsome, but he's shite.
Jeremy Clement, remember? Right, Claire says that, well, at first she said Kenny Dalglish. And I was like, really? Then she was like, no, I didn't mean him. Turns out she was talking about Alan Shearer. Did you mix up with Kenny Dale and Alan Shearer? And Andrew, the last one on the list, says Ali McAleist. She's got pictures of him in her living room. She also hates Patsy Kensit just because the two of them went out for a while.
The Legends Lottery on Football Daft.
What happened to those players you used to love? That's what we try and find out in this part of the show. Each week, one of the team is asked to find a former hero, and they try and get them on the show, and then you guys rate how good they were out of 5. The top of the leaderboard is Stephen at 15.6. Chris is on second on 3.9. Well, myself, I'm on 3.7. But that score will change after we reveal what I got with Rob McLean. Roy was great, by the way. So, John, what's on the scoreboard tonight?
Well, Chris actually scored 13.9, not 3.9. Stop trying to get yourself over, Grado. So, Rob McLean went down really well with the listeners. They were all loving a bit of the Silver Fox.
Surely it was a high score yet.
Don't you be fucking daft higher than Brian McPhee?
He
There's
did
no
beat
chance.
Brian McPhee, but I think he's our second most popular guest on this feature. 4.1 for Big Rob.
Well done, mate. That's a
Oh,
belter.
man.
That takes you up to 7.8, Grado.
That's not too bad, isn't it? Is that still third then, aye?
Still third.
Aye.
You'll be third for a few weeks, mate.
Aye.
Well, I don't know, because I've been hearing a bit of whispers. Chris, it's your time this week. It's that time of the week where we get our Legends Lottery. Nobody on the show yet has ever had anybody that's no showed, so this will be interesting.
What are you talking about?
He's fucking out of He reeled you right in there, too, man.
Every other week, somebody no shows.
Anyway, what's your excuses?
Right, well, I'm going to be honest with you, right? And I phoned him last night. I says, listen, my man, are you ready? Do you know how to work Zoom? And he says, no. And I says, fuck. And I went, right, listen, I know exactly what to do here. So I phoned John. I says, John, do me a favour, fire a wee email over to this legend that I'm talking to right now. Give him the what is it they call it?
What's going on? Where is he?
The Zoom ID.
Right, listen, I'm not going to drag it out any further. He's fucking patching me. Right, we organised it all last night, didn't we, John?
We did, Chris. We did.
We organised it all last night, and you know what? I'm not going to ask for a deference because I don't want a deference. I'm just going to take this one on the chin and tell you that my legend, in my eyes, is no longer a legend because he's fucked me over.
That's how it gets, mate. That's how it gets, man. I'm the same as you, man. See, when Jimmy Langfield dinged me, I've never wished him so much unsuccess in his career.
Nobody's ever dinged me even I've tried to get him on, man.
That's because everybody wants to hang about with fucking Shell Suit Bob.
Aye, I know.
Nobody wants to hang about with the wee fat midget off the fucking Scottish squad.
Who was that? Are we going to name and shame?
Aye, do you know what? I'll name him. No, in fact, because I might be able to get him on another time.
Yeah, mercenary bastard.
Well done.
Legend.
Well done,
He's not
Chris.
a legend in my eyes. But I'm not going to name and shame because I might get him on at another point.
It's all right. I know that he can't work Zoom, so the chances of him actually being able to watch this podcast or listen to this podcast are pretty remote.
Funny how you get that,
It's,
Some-
do you know what? He seemed like a good guy. I'm sure he is a good guy, and I'm sure there's a reason why he's not got back to me, because he was actually proactively contacting me at one point to get it all sorted. So maybe I'll get him on down the line, but I'm going to take this one on the chin and take the big fucking 0 this
So-
week. Sorry, lads, I've not got a legend.
That means I remain on 15.6 and I have a chance next week to extend my lead.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
This is like
that's like you've not played this week and I've got a game next week.
it's running parallel with the actual fucking season.
That's what I'm saying.
God.
So, by the time you get your legend on, I could be like maybe fucking, I don't know, 11 points ahead of you or something.
Who knows wins is back on Football Daft.
Hey,
It's the app that allows you to put your money where your mates are, I should say. Right, let me try it again. Guess what, troops?
But
Who knows wins is back on Football Daft. The app that allows you to put your money where your mates are. If you don't know what it is, Who Knows Wins is a social sports game where mates, family and colleagues put their wits for real money. Of course, bragging rights as well. There's nothing better than getting one over your mates, isn't there? You can download the free app to play directly against your pals on your own in your own custom league, or join one of their existing competitions. Right, they'll send you live updates as the games go on, and you can also get to wind up your mates in the group chat. Choose from football, rugby, horse racing, tennis, or combine any of the sports in your league. Make your predictions on the outcome of the chosen fixtures, and for every result you guess correctly, you get a point in your league. At the end of the competition, whoever's got the most points wins and proves that they're the top dog. Whether it's the cost of a round or something more substantial, choose your own entry fee, split the winner's purse as you see fit. But when it comes to the bragging rights, the winner takes all. So congrats to all our winners from last week, as the £220 pot gets split up between 8 players, none of them being us, actually. It makes a change, because John is usually pretty fucking good at it, isn't he?
I've scooped about £100 through Who Knows Wins like last season, and I got I won a tenner on the European games during the week there, so it's definitely worth getting involved in.
Nice one, mate. Get involved with our very own SPFL Football Daft League now. £5 entry, and you can get to take on me, Steven, Grado, John, with the winner taking all. Missing a major fixture this week though.
I wonder why that's...
what's that? What happened? Now we missed a fixture.
Missing a bit of a fixture.
Really?
I believe the Celtic and Aberdeen game has been called off. I'm not sure of the reasons behind it, but I think it's been called off. So this week we've got, on the Saturday, we've got Hamilton Accies versus St Mirren. We've got Kelly v St Johnstone. We've got Ross County v Dundee United. We've got Hibs v Motherwell, and on the Sunday we've got Livy v Rangers. So what do you reckon, lads? Hamilton v St Mirren.
I'm going for St Mirren.
Draw.
You're going to draw, John?
Yeah.
I'm going for St Mirren this game.
St Mirren.
They didn't look too bad against Rangers, to be honest with you.
Hey, it should have been 6, man. Should have been 6, man. Jack it on it. Anyway, next one.
Jack Hannick will save them.
Next one's Kelly versus St Johnstone. I've seen enough for Kelly last week to say that they're going to do St Johnstone. However, that's if they play in the same manner as they played against Celtic, which, see, when a team finds a system like that, why do they not play it against everybody? I know they think St Johnstone are a worse team, but see, if you sit in against them, then St Johnstone are going to come out and attack you, and that leaves them with the options on going forward. So I'm going to go for Kelly with that one.
Kelly.
I'm going to go Kelly. I think Chris Buck's been in good form and all, man. He's been getting amongst the goals. I'm going to go with Kelly.
He scored in every game this season.
Aye.
Kelly for me as well. I think that midfield two, Dickers and Power.
Ross County v Dundee United.
That's a tough one. That's two are playing decent, man. Ross County have started. I like Kettlewell, the manager, man. I like the way he talks, the way he wants the team to play. Ross County look like a totally different outfit altogether this season, man.
I absolutely do. I agree with
and
you.
I think Dundee United have started the season no bad as well. I'm going to go for Ross County just to edge that one.
What about yourself, Grado?
Dundee United.
Oh, conflicting views for the boys. What about you, John?
Draw.
I'm going to go with a draw as well. And then the next one, this is a big one for the Saturday, I would say, Hibs v Motherwell at Easter Road. I'm going to say, please forgive me, big handsome Keith, but I'm going to say Hibs comfortably.
Bubble to burst, Motherwell.
I was going to say that. I'm going to go for a shock as well. Motherwell have got to come good, man. They've got to get a result. And I don't. How long can Hibs keep doing this for, man? I'm going to go Motherwell.
Fuck off! How long can Hibs keep doing it? Away you go,
mate. Like, no, your team, mate. We're quite into the season now. You know what I mean? We've been.
I know, but like, so a Rangers going to fall flat in their arse and all then because they've had a decent start.
No.
Wait, we got to talk about Hibs game first. You better get to the Rangers game.
Yeah, there you go, you bastard.
One for me.
By the way,
sorry, mate.
No, you go.
I'm going to go with Motherwell. I just feel like they'll do a result. Plus with big handsome Keith on.
So lads, Sunday, Livingston versus Rangers. What's happening?
I can see Rangers just keep going with the winning, man. Honestly, I think we'll do it.
It's a horrible game.
It is. Big Dykes is going to be this is going to be the first proper test Balogun's had in a Rangers jersey because Big Dykes is an absolute handful of centre-half, man, honestly. But I think Rangers will edge it 2-1.
Hadji needs to have a good game and all, so I'm looking to see if he'll come into a game on Sunday.
I think Rangers will drop points this week. Right, and it's not going to be down to Rangers not being the better team. That pitch is even worse than Kilmarnock's pitch. Right, and not everybody can play on it, but see, Livingston, they've got it down to a fine art, and it's always a difficult game and going to Livy. So I think there's a good chance that Rangers could drop points. So I'm going to say 0-0.
Oh, that'd be horrific, mate. I can't lie, that's giving me the fear.
Aye.
John.
Sorry. I reckon Livingston are struggling. I think it's going to be an away win. Rangers.
John, you look really disappointed when you said that. I think it's going to be an away win.
Listen, I present both Rangers and Celtic, Daft. I'm the neutral here, you know.
Listen, they two haven't heard you on Celtic, Daft. You're a fucking cheerleader. Right, so listen, troops, get involved in our league right now by downloading the app on the Google Play and the Apple App Store. Who knows wins? Put your money where your mates are.
It's now time to try and give away a case of Beer 52 once again as we play the Pro Set Playoff. Now, all you have to do is guess the player from the 91-92 Pro Set cards, which are in front of me. From the description, you have to guess that quicker than either Chris, Grado or Stephen to win. And playing today, it's Anne, who's a Rangers supporter.
Welcome to
the show.
Thank you.
Loving the backdrop, Anne.
Can you see it?
There's some smashing jerseys. Did you put them up for my account? Aye.
I did indeed.
Thanks very much.
I don't know if you can make it out, but one of the shirts is a Washington Freedom shirt
Washington
from the professional league in America.
Nice.
Did you play?
No. I just bought the shirt.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to kind of start off with a big kind of story here about how you went out there as a young lassie and all that. And
this could have been the Legends Lottery.
So, Anne, thanks for coming on and playing. The rules are really simple. I'm going to read the description from the card. You've just got to guess who it is by buzzing in first, okay, when you know the answer. If you do buzz in, however, and get it wrong, we'll continue and you can't buzz back in, all right?
Okay.
The first to two that wins, all right? So what's going to be your buzzer, Anne?
Just Anne.
Just Anne. Nice and simple. Right, now I'm going to draw out and see what one of the boys are playing. Is there anyone you would like to play?
Not particularly. I'll take anybody.
Right, okay, let's draw out someone. How's your knowledge of the 91-92 season?
Dodgy,
right, okay. And I've just drawn out the name, and it's Grado!
Yay!
Just send me the beer now.
Right, here we go.
I'll give you a $5 later, John.
What's going to be your
friend
buzzer,
that let
Grado?
you shite yourself? You're shiting yourself, Steve.
Would you ask me, John?
What's going to be your buzzer, Grado?
Anne.
No, you can't say
That's
that. Good try, though. Right, what's your buzzer, Grado?
Grado.
Grado, okay then, right, fine. Right, here we go then. First of two wins. I'll shuffle the cards in front of me and we'll see who gets it. Right, here we go. First player, all right. This player spent 6 seasons with Dundee United before signing for Spurs in 1986. An immediate success for Spurs, he played in the 1987 FA Cup final. Early the following season, a then club record bid of 1.5 million from Rangers was too good for Spurs.
Grado.
Grado.
Oh no, Anne got it first.
Right. What are you saying, Anne?
Duncan Ferguson.
That's wrong. I'll continue.
Is it Richard Gough?
It is Richard Gough, Grado. 1-0. On to the next card, all right. This player spent 9 seasons as a regular first teamer with Celtic before a surprise move to the crack German club Borussia Dortmund.
Grado! Murdo McLeod.
Murdo McLeod it is. 2-0.
Is that no? I've done better than anybody else on this now, haven't I?
You have, Grado. Well done. 2-0. And so sorry.
Big Murdo.
Big Murdo.
You've got to do the dance, Anne. You've got to do the dance.
Oh, so sorry, Anne. Well done.
I was just glad I wasn't made a total arse of myself because I've been a
Well, you did, because I bet you.
Anne, thank you very much for playing. That means it's a 2-beer rollover for next week. So if you want to play, get involved on our Twitter. You have to get onto Football Daft on Twitter. Winners have to be over 18 and stay in the UK. Remember, Beer 52 is a monthly subscription service for beer, which is sourced from the greatest small batch breweries across the world. And you can get free beer right now, get a carry out for the weekend. All you need to do is head to beer52.com/daft and you can pick up a crate of beers for just $4.95. That's just to cover the postage. So head there right now, beer52.com/daft. The word beer, the number's 52.com, and get your first case of beer from us.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's introduce a man who played almost 500 games for Motherwell, scoring 23 goals, even appearing in the Champions League. He's now assistant manager at the club. It's the housewife's favourite and my ma's dreamboat, Keith Lasley. Keith, thanks very much for coming on to the show, mate. I'm not even lying to you. My ma fancied the pants right off you, man. Every time you'd come on...
That is the best introduction I've ever had, ever.
There you go, mate. There you go. But honest to God, Seaman Celtic, when you were playing Celtic, I'm going to be honest, because I'm a Celtic supporter, right? So anytime Motherwell were playing Celtic and you were there, she'd come on, she'd go, "Oh my God, what a handsome man." Every fucking time, mate. I couldn't get away from it. Got to the point where my dad was a wee bit worried, but anyway. Thanks very much for coming on the show.
I think she was in the minority, the Celtic fans, from my experience.
Aye, well, it wouldn't be over the top for me to say you were a bit of a dirty bastard as a player, wouldn't you?
That was more like the response I used to get.
So there's reasons for that. They probably hated you because other Moss fancied you and all right enough. So, it's not been the best start to the season for these, has it, mate?
No, it has not, unfortunately.
Fuck's sake, Tom, man, you put my way up there then, brought back
I know, but listen, don't worry, this is what I'm doing. You bring them in with a wee bit of honey,
shine them up,
splash of vinegar, and then you give them a wee bit more honey at the end to butter them back up, you know what I mean?
Housewife's favourite, or it was fancied you, dreamboat. It's not the best start to the season, is it, Keith?
What do you want me to say? So you big handsome bastard, what the fuck's happened at Motherwell?
Aye, that's what I want you to say, just keep going. No, listen, it's no been. We can't get away from that. But funny, we drew 2 each last night, and first point in the board. But it's probably out of the 3 games, it's probably the poorest we've played in some ways. To be honest, the first 2 games we actually felt as if we played all right up to a point without putting the ball in the net, which we all know is pretty important to win a game of football. So, listen, it's still early and we still got a good squad of boys. We just need to get that first win under the belt, as you do every season. So, move on to Saturday, toughie, and Saturday night enough. Play Hibs on Saturday, who have started really well. But let's have a go. See what happens.
It's like you say, mate. I mean, like when you look at a team, you've got, especially in the middle of the park, you've got really, really good football players, good players, man. But and you've strengthened well as, haven't you? You've strengthened as well. So even on paper, you've probably got a better team this year than what you had last year. In my opinion, I'd say.
Listen, I think I agree, but you need to do it there on the park. You know, I think you know, we're happy with the squad. We think it's a squad of talent, but you know, I think if you've seen, you know, after last night, what we were disappointed with is you need to do it on the pitch. You know, you can't keep saying, you know, people giving you a pat on the back for last season. Last season's gone. You know, this is this season, and you need to earn the right again. You know, and no, we need to do that. We need to. It doesn't matter what your squad looks like on paper. It's doing it out on the grass. So no, we need to make sure we do it, because this league, you know yourselves, is fine margins between the teams. You know what I mean? So if you're not quite at it for whatever reason, you're going to get found out. So listen, we go into Hibs, and it's again, either way they've had a good start. We're still capable of going there and winning the game. So you know that's what we're going to be trying to do, obviously.
Hibs have had a good start to the season, but Keith, would you make all this stuff about Bolingoli in the press this week? Have your players been well warned after this?
Aye, is the short answer. They have. Listen, that's an unusual situation. I can't, you know, I don't want to talk about other people's business, but I think Neil Lennon's said enough, you know, in terms of his reaction to it. Strange decision for the boy. But listen, we're trying to do everything possible. I mean, the club are going at great expense in terms of the testing and the protocols that we need to put in place. For a club certainly our size, it's not you know, small money we're talking. You know, it's big money we're investing just to make sure everything's safe and everything's tested. So, you know, our players are you know, they know they can't jeopardise that, because there's too much at stake. People's jobs at stake. I mean, if Scottish football was to you know, shut down again for any reason, you know, clubs of our, especially of our size, we're in trouble. You know, we are in big trouble. You know, and it's job losses. It's you know, the sake of the club. So our players know that, staff know that, and it doesn't take much, as we've seen in the last week, for that button to get pressed. I don't think, particularly now we've had what I would see as a kind of final warning almost for the First Minister. So, you know, you need to tell them. And to be fair, our players have been good. They're bought into it, and you know, I think they're behaving as best they can.
The other night, Turnbull got on the score sheet, scored a goal the other night. How good can this boy be?
Very good, very, very good. In my opinion, David is, in terms of young people coming through, certainly at our club. I mean, I can only comment about our club. You get to see some other young players coming through. But certainly in terms of our club, he's the best young player that I've seen in terms of his potential, what level he can go to. And the reason that is he is kind of probably one of the most un-Scottish Scottish young players that I've seen, and I mean that in the sense of the way he handles the ball under pressure. He's got you watch, you know, listen, I'm not going to start comparing them to Xavi and Iniesta and these guys right now, but what I mean is that sense of space, that sense of pressure that people run about you, and keeping a calm head in that pressure. I think he's got that, and no many young players I see coming through have got that. You know, and it's just not in our psyche, and not in our Scottish psyche. And I think, to be fair, I think we're trying to change that in youth development now to try and encourage that more. But David has got that just inbred in him. It's in him. You know, he's got that sixth sense of when he's under pressure, when he's not under pressure. And as I say, the big thing, keeping a calm head under pressure, because most of the young boys, you know, it's that little bit of panic when somebody comes and tackles them. We're the best foreign players, particularly that I can remember playing against. They can almost feel you, you know, they wanted you beside them, and then they could roll away for you, and they could spin the ball around you and get it the other side. It's David's got a bit of that about him. And the other big thing about him is he's a midfielder that scores goals. There's just, you know, to have a central midfield player score, what did he score for us? 15 goals, I think he did last year, or year before, whatever it was, 15. You know, that's just unheard of for a particularly for a Motherwell midfielder. I mean, when's the last Rangers or Celtic midfielder that scored 15 goals? You know, there can't be many of them. You know, there's no many. So to do that at a club of our size is, you know, you need to have something different about you, and I think David's got that. So, he's got the potential. He had that setback, obviously, with his knee and stuff, but he's back. He's getting there now, and you can just see every game he's getting a bit stronger. So, listen, if he keeps working the way he is, he's got brilliant, great potential.
Do you think it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that the Celtic move fell through? Because if he hadn't have had that medical, he maybe wouldn't have realised the extent of how damaged his knee was. And do you think that, like, going forward, he's going to look back on that, not as a missed opportunity, but as something that spurred him on to then go on to the next level? You know, I think he'll do well with another year at Motherwell at least.
Listen, it's always a kind of timing thing for young boys. That's what we want to do. That's what our club's there to do. It's part of the business plan. We want to bring these boys in, play, and then move them on. But as you say, the timing of that is crucial. It might be. You might be right. It might. To me, was David ready? Could David play in Celtic's team tomorrow? Aye, in my opinion, he could. You know, I think he's that good. But as you say, staying in here for getting over that injury and then coming back and playing their first team matches for Motherwell is going to be no bad thing for him. You know what I mean? He might, as you say, in hindsight, further down the line, you might be right. You might look back and think that was the best thing that happened. As you say, identified the injury. You know, he could have went there and then, you know, ended up injured. So when he does move, he's going to be fully fit, fully ready to go and go straight into somebody's first team. You know, so it might be a blessing, but he's good enough, and I think we can see that now. You know, every training session, every game, he's getting back to, you know, where he was before he left, before the, you know, the.
Do you think he's far off?
Far off full fitness? No, he's not far away. You could just tell he's been. I mean, he's out a long time. Forget how long he was out. I mean, with the injury, and then obviously COVID, add that kind of 3 months on it, because he was just, see, before it happened, he was just getting back into the edge of the team. And then obviously all this happened, so that's another 3 months out of football. So if you take it in entirety, you know, you're talking a good long, you know, months and months out of football. So it was always going to take him a bit of time, but he's getting there now. You can just tell every day he's getting sharper, and even in the games, gets his goal last night. Great goal, you know, classic Kim, makes that half-yard free-cell on the edge of the box and then whips it in the bottom corner. You know, so says there's just no many midfielders in Scotland that can do that. So he's getting there.
Right.
Getting into your playing career, who did you support growing up?
Well, this is a weird one. Well, isn't it? I can explain it. But I was an Everton fan growing up, which is a bit strange. But my dad's a Scouser. That's where the connection is. Right. So a lot of family connections down there. So, and if any of you are old enough to remember, Everton were actually a pretty good team in the mid-80s, which when I was 79, I was born. So I was 6, 7, just getting into football. And Everton were the best team in England, so that coincided to, you know, being down there with my dad a lot and whatever. So that was the reason.
Was that then a bit of time with Trevor Stephen and that?
Trevor Stephen, Gary Stevens, Peter Reid, Andy Gray, Gary Lineker, Neville Southall,
Tony Cotty.
So great team. Won the Cup Winners' Cup, won the league championship 2 or 3 times. So. They're not doing so well now, right enough, but they've
got a right good manager now, and next season.
I think he's a man, but unfortunately, I think he's going to need to spend another 400 million or whatever. They seem to spend every summer and not get anywhere, unfortunately. But I'm happy with Ancelotti. I think he could be the man. It's just I think they're going to need to spend a small fortune to actually get anywhere with it.
Right, so did you always live up here, or did you ever live down south?
No, I was always up here, but any school holidays, Christmas, anything like that, I was always doing. My dad would always take us down there. So I was a bit of a black sheep in the family. My dad and my 2 brothers are actually all Liverpool fans, so as you can imagine, I'm taking it a bit tight now with them actually winning the league for the first time in a while. So, but I don't know why, I just decided to. I was on the other side of the fence. And went to Everton games, as I say, when I was younger. So that was me hooked, and I've got a wee boy now who I'm desperately trying to brainwash him into being an Everton fan, which is difficult when you've got Man City and even Liverpool and Barca and all these teams, you know. So he gets that Everton strip every birthday, every Christmas, and it gets put on him. That's it. That's what you're wearing the day. And I'm trying to torture the poor wee boy to become a fan, but I'm still working on that.
How did you end up at Motherwell then?
A bit of a weird one. I left school to be a spark. I've spoken about this before. I was an apprentice electrician, served my time, and it was only really because Billy Davis, who became the Motherwell manager kind of 98, and he actually trained my boys club at Glenford Thistle one night a week, and he just saw me there, and I was doing my apprenticeship, and he just said, look, he knew he was getting the job in a couple of weeks' time. He knew Harry Campman, who was the manager at the time, he was going to be getting sacked. I think he had a wee, he must have got told, and he was getting the job. And he says, look, when I get the job, will you come up for a trial? And I was like, aye, happy days. And not really thinking anything of it. Went up and played a couple of reserve games, scored 2 goals. They must have thought they were signing a goal-scoring midfielder. They were sadly mistaken. But scored 2 30-yarders. Don't think I've done since. And that was it. They offered me a contract. But I had to go and finish my trade test. So I went and done that. Managed to fail that the first time. That had to wait for a reset. Hadn't earthed it properly. Nearly killed myself. And then eventually served my time and then went up and they offered me a deal. So a bit of a strange way into football, no academy system for me, and it was a bit of a different route in, to be honest.
Do you still day homers? Or do you day homers?
No, because I'd probably kill myself, I just said.
He probably wasn't listening again.
No. But changing the light bulbs in the house, that's a stretch now.
So see, when you broke through into the team, like you were playing with like Pat Nevin, Andy Goram, John Spencer and that, so any players in particular that you remember when you broke through that helped you, guide you through and all that and put an arm on you and stuff?
Aye, loads, to be honest. And actually when I first went in, I felt so inadequate in that team. I was just a wee guy off a building site in Glasgow, walking into a dressing room with Andy Goram, John Spencer, Pat Nevin, all the names you said there. And to be honest, they were brilliant. I mean, I know we were having a joke about Andy Goram earlier not turning up for training, but I tell you, when he did turn up, he was brilliant. Not just on the park, but actually with the younger lads. See myself, Stevie Hamill, Paddy, Piero, all these boys, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. Just in terms of, he would always stick up for us if we're in a team. It wasn't going so well, he'd always protect us. And that type of character, not just him, but we found, see with the older pros in the days, they tell you if you needed told, but what they would also do is they protect you when you need protected, or they'd help you, give you advice, or whatever it may be, just proper men, and there's not as many about nowadays, but in that, that was a proper dressing room, and as I say, I was a bit overawed by it all, to be honest, when I first went into it, but guys like Andy Goram and John Spencer were absolutely brilliant, and to me, when I walked in there, it was, even on the training pitch, it was like, right, this is football at a different level to what I've been playing at, this is proper football. Aye. And it was brilliant to see these guys up close to us.
Did you not give it tight for that mullet, man? That looked
yeah, do you know what was brilliant about that? I don't know if you remember, but he ended up signing for Man U. He went to Man U for Motherwell, like, I don't think that's ever happened, ever. Yeah. Anyway, but he came in, and as you say, Grado had the big mullet. I don't think all his teeth were there. I wouldn't say it to the face, but I think there was a few spaces. And, listen, he liked a wee red wine or whatever at the right rang time maybe. But anyway, this Man U rumour came in, and I'm not kidding on. He must have been a happening in the background, and he turned up the next day. The hairdo had all been trimmed, blonde thingy. The teeth were done. I don't know where to get the teeth done overnight, but the teeth were done. He looked a bit 2 stone lighter. It was like, and I was like, what's happened to him, man? But brilliant, and then that was him away to Man U. It was just unbelievable. Just like that. But
you're not done up to do the side for Man U.
Honestly, that's what it was like. But it was what a makeover it was. But brilliant. I know I'm having a bit of a laugh about him now, but honestly, a guy I couldn't speak highly enough of. Just a brilliant guy, particularly as I say with younger ones in the dressing room.
Yeah, I just can't get out of my head, man. Like one day he's up the road and then Goram turning up the next day, man. Pure makeover. I get into Old Trafford.
Tell you what, whoever done it from, it deserves a medal. By the way, absolutely brilliant job. Brilliant job.
So, like, see, when you were coming through with like big jig, like McCulloch and that, and McFadden, when you were playing with them, did you realise how good they boys were? Did you think they are going to have the careers they ended up having?
I think eventually, I think at first you just think, right, I'm just playing football with my mates here, and you don't really think where everybody's going to get to, if you know what I mean. You're just enjoying playing. Jig was probably just a wee bit ahead of me in terms of like years. He was a couple of years older, so he'd already kind of made his way into the first team, and you could always tell Jig was going to. He was kind of the big kind of young thing in the team at that time, and he was already a couple of years ahead of us, so he was just on the verge already going when we were first still coming in. But the likes of Faddy and guys like that, Stephen Pearson, Stevie Hamill, who I think had a chance to, a couple of times, very close to signing for Celtic at one point. But all the guys that eventually moved, I think at first you're just playing with your mates. You're not really, as I say, you're not really thinking about who's going to end up where and he's got the potential to go this far or whatever. We didn't really think about that at the time. We're all just, it came through being in administration for the club, so it wasn't a great time for the club as a whole. But what it did do was give all of us a chance in the team. It just gave all the young boys a chance to go and play football. And I don't think we really thought we would all get a chance at the same time like that. But ultimately, that's what administration done for Motherwell. And out of a really tough time, which it was horrible, came like a young boys that ended up obviously to then go on and make good careers for themselves. So out of that bad, there was a lot of good. But I mean, having said all that, eventually, once you have played a few games, you can start to tell, right, Faddy's a bit different, a bit special, and you start to see, right, Steve Pearson starts to make an entry sell. Stevie Hamill was just a constant. So you eventually start to tell, but right at the start, it was just, this is amazing. We were getting to play football for Motherwell, which was brilliant.
See all of the players that you just mentioned there, with the exception of Big McCock, they all came back as well. All of them came back to Motherwell and they were all back there at the same time again. So that must have been like a mad reunion.
It was, I not quite the class of 92, no, but a class of something else. Listen, it's something that's happened at the club, and I think, listen, I can only speak from my own experience, and I think probably the boys would probably be the same. Our experience, or my experience at the club, I had a chance when I did come back, I had the chance to sign for Kilmarnock as well. But just when I heard Motherwell were interested again, it was just something about it. I just thought, it just felt right. I want to go back to Motherwell. It's just a feeling about the place. You get this cliched term of a family club and things like that. But Motherwell it just feels, whether you want to call it classic family club or whatever, there is a closeness to everybody in the building, the office staff, the cleaners, the everybody that works in the place. And I always felt that even from my first period when I was a young player, and going back, it was actually even stronger. I found it even stronger, a good place to work and play, basically. So that's what drew me back, and I think most of the boys are probably just an enjoyable place to go and play football. And I mean, there's not too much more than that. I mean, it's just been a great place for me personally, anyway. And I think probably most of the boys will back me up on that.
So, how did you end up moving down south?
That was a difficult one, to be honest. In hindsight, it just never worked out for me, to be honest, Grado. But it was just. I think people have got to remember, see, when I was a young player, I think if you think about me being at Motherwell as my whole career, you think, right, a well-established Motherwell player, I ended up being captain and da-da-da. But see, at first, before I went, I wasn't that established. I'd only played a few games. So see, when the chance came to go to England, it wasn't as if, see if the chance came to go maybe 4 or 5 years later and I'd really established myself in the team, or I was a captain, or I thought twice, something like that. But at that time, I just thought, a chance to go to England. My first reaction was, I couldn't believe anybody wanted me, to be honest with you. It was like, I'm still saying that in a funny way. I just thought, I don't know if it was an inferiority complex that I spoke about before, like just a boy who was off a building site. The fact that because I went to Plymouth, who had just been promoted into Championship, which was a brilliant league. It's like West Ham were in it, Leeds were in it, and at that time, so some massive clubs, and I'm thinking, the chance to go and play in that. I just never thought I would get the chance to play in England at that level, and ultimately that was the thing that kind of tipped me over the edge, because Motherwell had offered me another contract, and again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but one it never quite worked out for me. But one thing it did do, when I did come back 2 years later, even although it hadn't worked out, I did feel a better player when I come back, for the experience I had. So that's.
I think you probably needed that. You probably needed that, because if you didn't ever move down south, you maybe would have regretted it later in your life that you never got the chance to go down there.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Aye. No, I would have. I know. No, you're absolutely right, to be honest. And especially at that level. See if it was like a League 2 team or something like that, but there's a chance to play. I mean, Sunderland, I'm trying to think of the teams, but Sunderland, Leeds, and actually Plymouth itself, although it's not a fashionable football club, it's not, and geographically it's fucking miles away from anywhere, to be perfectly honest. Mm-hmm. It's actually got quite a big catchment area. I mean, your first game, I remember, we were getting 18,000, 20,000 fans there, you know what I mean? So it was some big, particularly when the big teams came, you know what I mean? It was a good atmospheres, brilliant league, just never worked out, you know, in the end, which can happen in football. But as I say,
that's what I was going to say, mate. That Broadchurch shite.
what's that?
You're right there, Keith.
You're not from around these parts, are you?
Don't play the football. Come.
Honestly,
Keith, you're not from around these parts, are you?
Ginster's pasties for breakfast every day.
Aye, that was our sponsor, eh? That was a Plymouth sponsor, wasn't it?
Honestly, aye, that was as many a game as you could eat. That was your win bonus. You just got some of it.
He's won a game, they just fired you onto a room. Right, batter in, lads.
Julio living in a Ginster's paradise.
Oh.
Heard that for a week.
What was Bobby Williamson like, Keith?
Good. Obviously, he was a guy that took me down. Believed in me to take me down. Listen, I think he probably made a mistake in hindsight. Again, he maybe took too many Scottish boys down. I don't know if you remember, but likes of myself, Stevie Crawford went down, Stevie Milne for Dundee went down, Lee Mako went down. So there's quite a few boys for up here, and I don't know. I think he maybe took too many boys down with him in hindsight, as I said. But no, it was great for me. Him, Jerry McCabe, who's a character. He was his assistant. Cabe, who was brilliant. But again, for him, it never really worked out. I mean, he took over. Paul Sturrock was the manager there before him, and he'd actually been the manager that got them the promotions. And my underlying feeling is, if fans never really took to Bobby, you know, it was almost as if he was taking Paul Sturrock. You know, Sturrock was a legend. Like, I mean, he's held in such high regard, and it was almost as if Bobby was he was just taking his team, and the fans never really took to him, to be honest. So I thought he was fighting an uphill battle for the start. But with me, he was brilliant. He was brilliant, and it was really once he left, then Tony Pulis came in, and I was a bit too fit, too short for him, to be honest with you. You need to be about 7 foot to get in one of his teams. So I needed a step ladder to get in the team. But again, football, different managers like different things, and it just wasn't happening for me. So that was, I ended up moving on.
Tell me this one, Keith. Once Bobby moved into international management, did they ever ask you if you had a Uganda and Granda?
No, he never. No, I wouldn't have qualified anyway, to be honest.
see, Bobby. Ever tells you about the time Bobby Williamson turned on the Christmas lights in Coinning, and he came in a big fucking Rolls Royce, and he was gone by like the Queen. He was going, he's saying, "Oh, that we son, they fucking buy." Fucking going like that as if he thought it was brilliant.
Okay, what would you say was the highlight of your
Sorry, bro.
Okay, sorry, what would you say is the highlight of your Motherwell career?
Oh, there's been a few. Am I allowed a couple?
Aye. Many as you want, Keith.
Right, I'll go right back to the start, back in the black and white days. My debut, maybe my this is definitely one of them. My debut at Ibrox, we get beat 2-0, but I've only got a couple of shots that I really keep. And one's my debut shot. We played Rangers at Ibrox. Well, I mean, what a Rangers team, playing against Barry Ferguson, Van Bronckhorst, Alberts, Claudio Reyna, Turgay, Arthur Newman, Michael Moles. You know, the list goes on. I mean, that playing football against that team was like an education. You know, and for me, as I said at that point, getting to play against them was unbelievable. You know, just something I never thought would have happened 6 months earlier or whatever. So that game is a highlight. Just to make my debut against a team, you know, I just never thought I'd get a chance. So that's definitely one. And then after that, it's probably kind of later in my career. You know, becoming captain was a big honour. Playing in Europe for Motherwell so many times is something that, again, never ever thought I'd get a chance to do. I think we ended up playing 24, 26 games in Europe over a kind of 6-7 year period. Like, unbelievable. Played, you know, my first season as captain, we played against Panathinaikos, walking out in the Olympic Stadium in Athens as the captain of Motherwell in a Champions League qualifier. It was like, what is going on here? What universe is this? You know, so that's one. And another one is probably a highlight and a low light is probably the Scottish Cup final. Scottish Cup final is one of the things where you can. You do dream. It's one of the, right, you play a Scottish Cup final, Hampden, the fans, just everything that goes with it, the build up to it. But what's not so good is you get there and you get you get pumped 3-0 in the final, which isn't in that dream that you have as a boy. But I actually just getting to the Scottish Cup final as a player is actually a highlight as well. To be honest, something I loved. I loved doing. Loved the occasion.
It's not.
Somebody was a spark. Sorry, on you go, Toe.
When you're saying there, you got to the Scottish Cup final. See, when Motherwell get to a cup final, the entire town manages to get a ticket for the game, right? So, see that expectation. You've got the full of Motherwell watching, hoping and praying that you manage to get this result. That must add on some amount of pressure. It must.
I mean, it does. It does to a certain extent. I think it was funny with the Scottish Cup. I actually felt more pressure in the semi-final. We played St Johnstone in the semi-final, and because we were almost expected to win that game, it's almost like a 50-50 game. Plus, you knew it was at stake. Getting to a Scottish Cup final, which, quite frankly, you don't get the chance to do every year. Like at Motherwell, it doesn't happen that often, obviously. So when you do get a chance, and a good chance like that, against another club similar size in St Johnstone, I actually felt under more pressure then than we did when we got to the final. But I mean, the point you make is good in terms of it is. I mean, literally the whole of Motherwell is in that stadium. I'm not far off it, and that brings its own pressure. But I think it probably depends who you're playing against. I mean, we play against Celtic in that final. Yeah, you're feeling the pressure of being in it, but it's if you win it, it's probably seen as unexpected. Do you know what I mean? So I think you feel as if the fans are with you, totally with you. As I say, I actually felt more in the semi-final when it was like your fans were expecting you to get through, and you're like, I think that's probably actually a bit more pressurised situation than the final was.
So do you have any plans to get into management? Obviously, you're the assistant manager just now, but is there plans for later on in your career to go into being a manager yourself?
Aye, there is, to be honest. I hope so. I mean, I'm not in any rush. I'm loving what I'm doing now. That's one thing I've learned, actually. I think when you come into coaching, I've heard so many kind of older coaches talking about it. When you come into it first, you're in a rush. You're like, right, I like, get there as soon as I can, if you like. But I think once you're in it, you realise what is in it, what it takes. And I'm just loving the role I'm in now, learning all the time. I've a very good manager at the moment, a good coaching staff round about us. And but ultimately, one day, when the time comes, and the other unfortunate thing about football, you don't get to pick your path. You don't get to pick your perfect path, which would be lovely, but it's kind of, you just need to wait for the opportunity to arise or whatever it may be. But what you need to be is ready if the opportunity comes. But so, I mean, the answer is yes. When it's going to be and how that's going to manifest itself, I've no idea. But that's the ambition one day.
All right.
Well, Keith, talking about knowledge in football and being a manager, next up, every time we've got a guest on Football Daft, we do a quiz. You up for it?
I'm up for it. It's
a 90-second Football Daft quiz we do every week, right? So we want to put our guest football knowledge to the test. But before we continue, there's been a wee bit of controversy. Once again, the Football Daft VAR is out after producer John.
You're joking.
He's not done it again, has he?
Explain yourself, John.
Yeah, there was a bit of a problem with Kevin Harper last week. We thought Kevin Harper had went top of the leaderboard, but I went back and listened to it and I'd clearly miscounted. So Kevin Harper only scored 13, so he's in joint second as opposed to going top of the leaderboard.
Right, so that means Mark Wilson is still top of the leaderboard with 14. Well, the good doctor, Kenny Duker, and Kevin Harper are just behind in second place with 13. Barry Ferguson and Owen Coyle are then joint third and 12. Other selected scores include Jonathan Watson in 9. The polished guy with new teeth, Nora, Andy Goram's on 8. Bob Malcolm is on 6. Falkirk manager
He's going to battle me if he ever sees me again.
David McCracken is still the strongest man in football. He's at the bottom of the leaderboard holding it up with 1 point. So is there anybody there you want to beat? Obviously, you want to beat McCracken, don't you? You want to get more than one, Keith.
Aye, that would be nice. Aye, I'm just waiting for the kind of electrical section. That'd be good. Is that what the quiz is about? Aye.
Well, Keith, do you know what? You never know if producer John, the shite writes down here. Do you know what I mean? You never know, there might be.
So can you tell me which colour is earth and which colour is light?
Well, that's what I got wrong in my trade test. So,
So, You ready for it then,
I'm
Keith?
ready for it.
Get 90 seconds on the clock, producer John.
Yes, I won't fuck it up.
Right, here we go. What country did Bolingoli go to for 24 hours?
Spain.
On what date do the rest of the Scottish leagues kick off?
October the 18th.
Kemar Roof joined Rangers from which club?
Anderlecht.
When did Motherwell last win the Scottish Cup?
91.
Who won promotion to the English Premiership and the Championship playoff?
Fulham.
What club's anthem is Marie Osmond's Paper Roses?
Kilmarnock.
Who plays their home games at Shieldfield Park?
Arbroath.
Who did you make your 400th Motherwell appearance against?
Oh, no idea. Inverness.
Aside from Dundee United, name the other Scottish League team with United in their name.
Oh. We did. Here.
Who did you play your Champions League game against?
Panathinaikos.
In which Dutch city do PSV play?
Eindhoven.
Who's the current manager of Dumbarton?
Jim Duffy.
What type of trees are on the Motherwell badge?
Fir.
Name one of the clubs relegated from the English Premiership.
Plymouth.
What club are nicknamed the Staggies?
Ross County.
Who's Motherwell's record signing?
John Spencer.
Stenhousemuir play in what league?
League 2.
Who won last year's Ballon d'Or?
Time!
Oh, that was good, mate.
Still gets the answer. Still gets the answer.
Yeah, who won last year's Ballon d'Or? 'Cause I asked the question, so you got to let you answer it, Keith.
Ronaldo.
The other one.
Was it?
Right. We'll soon find out. Producer John, count. Can you count it up?
I'm going to make
What
sure
grade
that
will it be at?
I'm right here. I'm going to make sure, double check one answer just now because I don't want to fuck it up for Keith. Okay.
The panic in his voice.
I am really panicking because this is very close, right? Okay, let's go through your wrong answers, Keith. Kemar Roof said sign for Anderlecht. Yeah, you got that one right. Motherwell last won the Scottish Cup in '91. Promotion to the English Premiership was Fulham. Kilmarnock Marie was Paper Roses. Home game at Shieldfield Park, Berwick Rangers.
Oh.
Your 400th appearance for Motherwell was against Celtic, apparently.
What is that? No idea.
But
This is was there, I think, wasn't she?
Aye. Imagine your thighs.
you got the Staggies, didn't you, Ross County?
Yeah.
I got that.
You got the Ballon d'Or wrong, but you've went joint top of the leaderboard.
Oh.
That's a good result.
Keith, I would maybe listen to the podcast next week just to make sure.
Make sure you've
You might-
only
I
got
don't-
one right.
There's every chance. Every chance.
Right, see you later, Keith. Tatty bye.
See you later,
Honestly,
bud.
mate, all the best for the rest of the season.
All the
Thanks for
best.
coming.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Always pleasure. Cheers.
Yeah, my man.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Remember to sign up to the Patreon at patreon.com/footballdaft, where you'll get the full video version as only the interview is going up this week. Remember to leave a review and subscribe on Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcasts from. Stop laughing at me, pricks. You can get us on social at Twitter at Football Daft Pod, Football Daft Podcast on Instagram, and just search for Football Daft on Facebook. Just leaves us time to play out the show. I've been Chris Toll.
I've been Steven Gerrard.
I've been Grado.
I've been producer John. I've got a hell of a lot of editing to do tomorrow because of these
By
two
the way.
pricks.
Just give me a clean edit.
The Patreon's going to be worth it this fucking week. I'll tell you that.
There's a lot of outtakes. Get on board. Patreon.com/footballdaft. We'll see you on Celtic Daft and Rangers Daft next week. We'll be back here on Friday.
John, are we having a Celtic Daft this week?
I'm sorry, talking about Paul right enough, aye.
I'm going
Big
to...
Brother story, Big Brother story. But we could do
Oh,
fuck. Listen, lads, my dinner's out, man. I'll need to tell you it next week.
Let's do it on Celtic Daft because we've got fuck all else to talk about.
Right then.
he's a fucking edit.
Audio frontier.